Alright, we're going to be doing an updated deck profile for Altergeist. Now, what I can tell you about this list, this is based off of my friend Pascal's list. He's been doing relatively well in the Zodiac tournament, actually, splendidly actually, and sent over his list, and I was like, okay, let's try this. So my friend put it together off of everything, and decided to start doing this. He's won he's won 3 locals so far, actually, come to think about it, which is pretty impressive. I mean, Altergeist is dead, right, guys? Like, multi-fakers at 1, the deck's bad. We actually had an Altergeist mirror today at locals. Granted, it wasn't the... Yeah, but interesting enough that this deck is still doing kind of what it wants to do in the format. So, that's something to take note of is, yeah, Geist is still very much alive. Thank you, more multi-fakers. So, thank you, Pascal, for sending over the list, too, by the way. So, we have triple copies of multi-faker. Core being able to set the Altergeist trap card from your deck is still as splendid as it's ever been. Honestly, to top off what else this deck does, there's nothing else really too special about this, but I will say, for everything that this card brings to the deck, it's still fantastic. Triple copies of Melozeek. Now, the attack directly, send a card to the graveyard, absolutely... I don't know why people just let this do its thing. Also, the fact that this is able to be linked out, search for your 1-of multi-faker, you're able to literally do anything else that you want on the attack directly and out anything. They did fantastically dodging this card. I'm glad. And of course, the 1-of, the multi-faker himself. Basically, we traded 2 multi-faker for 2 Solemn Judgment. And I do agree that multi-faker is crazy good in this deck. We didn't get the personal spoofing hit that the OCG has, which actually does hurt the consistency of this quite a lot. But the thing is, once you get the 1 multi-faker stuck on once you were able to see this, you're pretty much going to be in an advantageous position for literally the whole game, unless it gets called by the graved. But I'm going to be straight honest with you. If you're letting your multi-faker get called by the graved, there are other questions we need to be asking, like, how did that happen? Now I play the... yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Happens, right? We have the 2 copies of Ziliguidos. Now, my boy here has the ability to bounce an Altergeist card and another card that your opponent has back to the hand. For a little body, this is what you bring off of the multi-faker, which gives you interruptions through the opponent's turn. The constant reusability through the opponent's resources, forcing your opponent to make bad plays. Also, multi-faker Imperm turn 1 actually wins games, because that happened today at locals. You open up Ash and Imperm multi-faker, you're going to 3 disruptions, and that's pretty much enough to stop Guard Dragon Crusadia from doing anything. Then we have the 1 copy of Kunguri, Altergeist card. Your opponent attacks, you're like, haha, and then you bounce it back to your hand. And then you cause some nice little fun loops with him, because that's just what Kunguri likes to do. So, a 1-of, don't play any more than that. And then the 1 copy of Sangan. Now, there's been a lot of debate if we play more than 1 Sangan, do we play more Al Mirage? 1 is fine. Playing more than 1, I think you start leading into the dead draw syndrome. And this is not something that I'm trying to lose the game because I opened multiples of it. I think you're kind of dangerous playing more than 1, but yeah, 1 has been absolutely fine so far. And then triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, wrapping up the monster lineup. Nothing too out of the ordinary here with that, but there's that. We have triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. This is pretty much a staple in this deck. I hate to say it for the budget players out there that want to play this deck. Yeah, $210 the draw power. Absolutely worth it. Every part of the way. You care about your extra deck to a degree, but it's not like you can't... It's not like you can't hold this for the turn 2 to make the more important play that you need. You have options available to you. We have the 2 copies of Pot of Duality. Yeah, sifting through the deck, getting to key pieces, it's pretty straightforward. Triple copies of Called by the Grave. One of the best disruption cards in today's metagame. You blow out your opponent literally in any situation, and hey, I don't know. I was on the fence about this card. I thought it was going to be booty butt cheeks, but here we are. It's doing God's work, actually. And then 2 copies of Secret Village. I've heard a lot of split opinions about this from a lot of players. They're like, why are you playing Village? It serves no purpose. Against Sky Strikers, this is still pretty much an auto win. Against True Draco, I mean, yeah, your opponent can just set Tribute, but that's one less card that your opponent's going to be able to kind of combo off with. And it's not like you can't board it out for games 2 and 3, but in the situation that this card comes in clutch, it's pretty dang good. So there's that. Good card. Now, traps. We only played the 1 copy of the Crackdown. Now, while Crackdown is a very good card this format, what it does in terms of disruptability, it kind of lacks that power push that you need. 1 is fine. Just you're able to take the monster, get the disruptability that you want out of it, and if you don't see it, it doesn't hurt you. 1 copy of Imperial Order, just another blowout card for today's metagame. Actually, probably one of the most powerful cards that this deck has going for it, because this plus Multi-Faker alone. Triple copies of Personal Spoofing. Personally, just you have to play it. It's the card that brings the deck together. 1 copy of Manifestation, 2 Protocol. I know people like 2 copies of this 1 Protocol. This has been working out splendidly, actually. In a format where things are slower, your opponent's aiming to disrupt you a little bit easier. I do think that this, it makes a difference in card choices. So, yeah. Triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. Still one of the best disruption cards that this deck has going for it. And let's be honest, we're Altergeist, we need it. Triple copies of Solemn Judgment. Forcing bad plays out of the opponent, being able to stop anything that is detrimental to your combo, all right here. And then 2 copies of Solemn Strike, wrapping up the main deck. Honestly, it's pretty cute what this deck actually can do. Now, that being said, all the lovely little tokens in the world. Hey, little Buette. Now, the extra deck. This is where the numbers start getting interesting. 1 copy of Almirage. Strictly for the Sanguine. Normal summon Sanguine, go Almirage, get your search for your Multi-Faker. Woohoo, we did it. Triple copies of Link Kuriboh. This is to rotate off of the Melzik for the full searchability that you want off of this deck. Like I said, you have so many ways to get to the 1 Multi-Faker, it's crazy. Play the 1 Cerberus, the 1 Phoenix. Disruptability options built into the deck. It doesn't matter if you go into these or not. You have the room. You can mess around, play really bad cards, but we have good options available to us, so we may as well play them. Now, we play the triple copies of the Hextia. No reason not to be playing one of the best named Altergeist cards in the game. 1 copy of the Prime Banshee, the 1 Boral Sword Dragon. Then we get into the good stuff. The 1 Dragastapalia, the 1 Violet Chimera, the 2 copies of Starving Venom. Because Super Poly in this format, it's... Why do we have it at 3? That's the question I ask. Now, extra deck here. Our side deck. Triple copies of Dino Wrestler Prankatops. Free special summon, free disruption off of anything really that the opponent's going to do, and 2600 body is very threatening. Even in the mirror match, actually, this card is bonkers. We have triple copies of Lance. Lancia puts in a lot of work. I think a lot more than we want to admit this format, because a lot of people have chucked this aside, like Lancia is not that good. He still does very good. I'd be surprised if people didn't catch on to this. The 3rd Secret Village, more disruptability for Sky Strikers. Triple copies of Super Polymerization. Like I said, who doesn't like blow out the card put into 1 beautiful spell speed 4. 2 copies of the Heavy Storm Duster for blowout for the back row, and triple copies of Evenly Matched. This card is nuts, this format. I actually think that this is probably one of the craziest cards that the game has seen. This and Super Poly. Well, that's all I got for this deck profile, guys. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the list. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.